Welcome back to ESA Winter 2021. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Links to donate can be found below the stream. My name is Ashwin, and I would like to take a chance to thank Koei Tokimo Europe, who just released the complete edition of Neo 2, Twitch, ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. Now it's time for LawyerBodoh to take it away with the Outer Wilds along with his commentators. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Ash. Hi, everyone. So we're joined by Meta and Creeper Hunter today. Say hello.
Hi, yeah, my name is Meta. I briefly ran this game on release. It's really amazing. And yeah, I'm really excited for this run.
And I'm Creeper Hunter, and I also run this game.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So we're going to start off on story difficulty because it's easier and want to go fast, obviously. And we're going to run a category called Max Quest, where we complete 68 out of the 69 quests available. We sincerely wished we could complete 69 quests out of the 69 quests because 69 is a funny number, but unfortunately, we only can complete 68, so we are stopping at 68. So I'm going to set up my character. The Outer Worlds is a lot like, it's an FPS RPG. It's a lot like Fallout 3, so we're going to set up different skills here, and I'm setting up these skills so I can actually talk my way out of the final boss. So I pick up some points in stealth and tech. Stealth because I want a high level of lockpick, and actually, Ashwin, I forgot to ask, I believe there was a donation incentive for the name of the correct character. Maybe you can give me that?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second here to get that for you. The one that won was Big Bean.
Big Bean.
Bean like Mr. Bean?
Yes, bean like the actual vegetable bean.
Okay,
Yes.
Big Bean. Okay, so I am Big Bean, and we're running the Outer Worlds, Max Quest.
How do you guys
get started?
Where does that come from?
So time is going to start in a couple of seconds. So time just started. Oops, sorry. Okay, so we're going to start off. Yeah, who's Phineas?
Who's this Phineas guy?
Phineas is a crazy scientist who saved us from a colony ship on which we were frozen in cryosleep, and he put us in a shuttle to get us off the ship, and we've just landed with the help of his good friend Hawthorne. Unfortunately, Hawthorne isn't particularly smart, and he was standing near the beacon where we were supposed to land, and we landed on him, so Hawthorne is dead now.
He became a squish bean.
Exactly.
So what's this slowdown thing here that's happening?
So this is a special mechanic in the game called TDD, which is time dilation. It basically slows down time. The game does a great job of explaining why your character has this ability to slow down time, because it never speaks of it again apart from the 3 seconds we've just heard. So right now I'm going to pick up some alcohol, because alcohol is great, some 3 lockpicks, because I'm going to try and lockpick. I'm going to actually successfully lockpick a door behind which a quest item is located here in Emerald Vale, and I'm going to make my way to Hawthorne's ship, which is pretty much the first quest of the game. Ooh, I landed the bunny hop there. I missed this one. Never mind. So there aren't any extremely complicated mechanisms and mechanics in the Outer Worlds. Most of the speedrun is going to be a lot of movement optimization, quest optimization as well, and bunching them up and menuing as well. So I'm moving my mouse in a very specific place right here. So when I level up, my mouse is exactly where I want it to be, and I save a bit of time that way. And there's quite a bit of menuing in the game, so it's an important part of the run to know the menus when they pop up and so forth.
And so you'll notice that we grabbed a perk there. That perk is probably the most important perk of the game. It's called Cheetah, and it just straight up adds 20% to your sprinting speed. So over the course of the next 2 hours, that is going to save us a massive amount of time.
Yeah, and it's probably walking and running is probably the main thing we're going to do throughout the run. So it's a very useful perk, obviously.
Yeah.
So here I'm going to do a very weird bug. In the first map, if you quick save and quick load in specific areas, you can discover zones you've never actually been to. So right here, I'm very far away from a place called the geothermal plant. And by quick saving and quick loading near that rock, I've actually discovered the geothermal plant. And we're going to use that through a mechanic, which is fast travel. So I'm going to be able to fast travel there later on. So I'm going to blow up this mine, pick this safe. I just picked up a book, which is for a guy called Vicar Max, and we haven't actually met the Vicar, and that's one of the great things I like about the Outer World is that quest items I actually spawn in game, even before you've actually talked to the NPCs and the relevant NPCs. So we're going to use that a lot in our routing. We're going to pick up items either very early on for the last 10 minutes of the run, or try to bunch up pickups throughout the run. And right here, we're making our way to Silas. It's going to give us our first quest. Did I pick up that quest? I thought I did.
Yeah, I think that having all the items spawned in the world is probably what makes this category the most interesting, just because it allows a lot more freedom for routing, right? It's not so linear. It gives a lot more freedom.
Yeah, and there's a lot less backtracking. Even the go fetch quests, they're not that bad because you make your way. You can bunch up what you're supposed to do in one go and hand in the quest later. So I'm making my way to, I fast travel to geothermal, which I just discovered through my quick save, quick load. And I'm going to blow up this barrel right here to kill that mechanic robot there. We're going to enter geothermal, and I'm going to do two things. I'm going to pick up a lotion, which and I'm also going to pick up a quest item for a guy called Ludwig I've never actually met. So
yeah, so I guess just a little bit about this lotion. So this lotion is called Stimulotion. Halcyon Holdings / the board / the rest of this entire universe is run by corporations, and Stimulotion is one of those products. And we love it because it's going to give us an additional 20% movement speed. So once we dupe this later on, we're going to have it stack in length. It doesn't stack in effect, unfortunately, but it's going to stack in length and allow us to sprint at essentially 40% of our base movement speed for the rest of the run. There are some exceptions, but 40% pretty much. Also, it adds 20% to our melee weapon attack speed as well. Not that we use melee all the time, but for when we do, it's pretty handy. And it's just sort of a bonus.
It is. So this is, I just shot a guy. Just shot a guy. It's part of the first quest that's given to me by Silas. He's a gravekeeper, and people owe him money. So I'm running through the town to kind of talk people into giving me the money they owe to Silas. I also picked up the quest by talking to a policewoman, and I'm going to go through the duping process, which is a bit tedious. So I'm going to hand things over to you guys to kind of talk about what I'm doing and talk about the story in general.
For sure, yeah. Krabby, do you want to explain exactly like how the duping works in regards to like the maps and stuff like that?
Sure. So in very specific maps in this game, for some reason, when you quick save and quick load, essentially what happens is you can reset that instance of the map. So when he drops an item, now this works with any item, not just the lotion and the Adreno, which he's also duping here, which is his healing item. When you save, it then binds those items that you dropped to the map. And then when you quick load, it also resets the map. So when you pick them up, you now have them in your inventory while they're also still on the ground because you reset the map. And that's how he's duping. And it works in a couple different maps. This is just the most convenient place that we do it in. So,
yeah. And we're also going to bend the laws of space-time later on with some people. And we're going to reload the map just to like change basically the cycle that they're on, and we can use that in a couple places. It's not used as often, but it's pretty cool where it can be used. Oh, go ahead, Preppy.
oh no, I was just saying, I was agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess for the lore of this game, I think we touched on some certain parts, but essentially it's not a post-apocalyptic game, but it is a dystopian game. Like I mentioned earlier, the board sort of runs everything, the Halcyon Holdings Corporation. and they have a very tight grip on society right now. And Phineas is basically trying to change that. So there's a ship called the Hope. Some of these details are a little loose in my brain, but feel free to correct me, guys. So there's the ship called the Hope, and it has a bunch of these survivors who were put up like a couple dozen years ago. And the people who were left on Earth were supposed to wake them up, and they didn't because they wanted power. So during this time, Halcyon Holdings Corporation basically took over Halcyon, and now for this game, we need to take them down or side with them. It's up to us, and we're going to be going either side as much as we can because this is max quests. So sometimes the game is going to make us choose to do one thing or the other, and we're going to do our best that we can to play both sides so that we can complete everything.
Yeah, we're actually going to manage to do both, to side with Phineas and the board at the same time. But maybe we have just some time for maybe 2 or 3 donations right now.
Sure, let me go ahead here and give us a great time to think about how these speedrunners are putting on a good show and fighting RNG. We can be a help for a different fight, the fight against Alzheimer's and dementia, by helping fundraise research for preventative measures and cures. Every donation helps. You can find a link below the stream. We hit $30,000 fundraised not too long ago, and we're closing in on meeting the total amount raised for ESA Winter 2019, which is $30,077. So if you want to help us out with that, that would be absolutely monumental. And if you're thinking about donating, remember, you can use your donation towards a bid war. We have one open for the next upcoming speedrun, Fallout 3, to bid for a save file name as well. We're hovering around $666. Was this intentional? 2 name choices are available. We got Heck21 with $661 and Amiga with 5. Or will this change?
Yeah, be sure to tune into the Fallout runs. They're going to be awesome. So this is the Vicar. He has one of my favorite lines in the game. It gets me every time. It gets me, obviously, because I'm French, but the idea of this intergalactic, this civilization capable of intergalactic flight that just forgot to speak French, and having a book in French is the most difficult thing they've ever seen. But anyways, so we're going to pick up some of these data pads throughout the run throughout the Emerald Vale for a character called Thomas Kemp. He wants to be an engineer. There's some information on those. It's great. It's fascinating. So right now I'm spamming my inhaler because every time I spam my inhaler, I gain 20 seconds speed boost, and it's incremental. So if I do it twice, I get 40 seconds and so forth. So I'm going to be spamming my inhaler throughout the run, so I can actually benefit throughout the run from the cheetah perk Meta mentioned, but as well as the lotion Meta mentioned as well, and I've been duping. So duplication, it's useful obviously because I'm going to need, it gives me like 300 lotions, so I can always have the speed boost, but it's also going to give me a ton of money. That's one of the reasons we dupe as well, and I don't just dupe 200 or 300 lotions. I dupe like 4,000 because I get, I think, 200,000 or 180,000 bits, which is particularly useful for the rest of the run. So once again here,
that's one really huge bean.
Man, I can't wait for 2 hours of bean pun. This is going to be great.
So, Lawyer, what's going on with this Emeraldville region and Edgewater? What's the main quest of this area?
Man, you put me on the spot. I haven't revised my lore. No, there's this scanner. The town I was in is a cannery, and it's run by a guy called Reed. I talked to Reed, and we have to do a bunch of quests, and they're sharing power with some people that are stuck in a botanical lab. Not stuck, but that left the cannery to live in a botanical lab. And one of our quests is to reroute power, and we have the choice between rerouting either to the cannery or to the botanical lab. So technically it's meant to be a moral choice. You kind of have to play favorites, but the reality is that we're gonna reroute power to the botanical lab, not because we think they're better, but because it allows us to complete more quests. So that's all there is to it. So right here,
I was just gonna say, I also feel, maybe I'm wrong, but I also feel like this first sort of town, city, whatever you want to call it, region, it's almost like a quote-unquote tutorial or smaller scale of the grander narrative of the story, because it's sort of like the Edgewater is the board. They're represented by the board. It's run by the board. And then the Botanical Lab is sort of the rebels. And so you need to sort of decide, okay, am I going to commit to, you know, this law and order of Edgewater, or am I going to try and rebel and support the Botanical Lab?
Yeah, there's a lot of dark humor as well in the game, and in particular, so Silas is a gravekeeper, and I talked to a lady called Catherine, I think, on the catwalk a moment ago, and the story behind her is she owes money to Silas, not because she like someone close to her is in Silas's graveyard, but because she discovered, I think, a fellow worker who committed suicide, and she found the body. So, and since workers are considered company property, she's being held liable for damage to company property.
That's the board for you, man. A lot of people owe Silas money.
Yeah, so I'm going to do Hodor skip right here. I'm going to ask Parvati to hold a very specific position close to that door. I'm going to kill Zoe, unfortunately. I'm going to kill...
Why are we killing Zoe?
For a quest... Oh, this is terrible. I got concussed. That's very unfortunate. I'm going to have to redo that. Zoe ran away from Botanical Labs. We're trying to... we're supposed to find her, but... we can just shoot her, and none will be the wiser, and we'll just say, we're sorry.
I was gonna say, it sounds slow to bring her back, so let's just you know pop her one in the noggin and get a move on. So a lot of the decisions we make, you know, all of the decisions we're going to be making throughout the rest of this run are going to be based on speed, not morality. So sometimes we're going to be a good little bean, and sometimes we are going to suck.
Yeah, we are going to help basically terrorists as much as we're going to help nice people. So, but we need to complete quests, you know. So it makes sense to me.
Gotta go fast.
Exactly, go fast and complete quests. So Hodor skip right there. The way it works is I ask Parvati to hold a specific area in front of a door. Thus the very original name of Hodor skip. And I run away, but since I'm running away, all the mobs are aggroing on Parvati. And once I get far enough from Parvati, she TPs back to me. So she disappears, and she reappears next to me. And since she's disappeared, everyone, all the enemies and all the mobs kind of lose aggro, and it allows me to get out of combat really fast without having to actually fight anything. So Hodor skip right there is extremely useful. Otherwise, I'd have to kill like 10 marauders basically. So it's I've skipped a very long fight right there. And I'm also going to avoid fast traveling in a couple of situations, and in particular when fast traveling is faster from an in-game time perspective, but slower from a real-time perspective. So I can fast travel like 5 feet. In a speedrun, it's actually faster because we measure in-game time. But for you viewers, I'm obviously not going to subject you to 30 minutes of load screen. So here we are. So this is a new strategy I found while practicing for ESA. It's great because I need to kill this guy, and if I don't do what I just did, I'm going to have to fight that whole marauder camp. So once again, it's a huge time save. So the marauders I killed is for I killed them for the constable. She wants us to kill 3 marauders and show proof of death by handing her their fingers. So that's why I needed to loot their bodies. I've also completed Silas's quest line. I've talked to everyone who owes him money. So I'm going to make my way to Silas and hand in the quest. So Silas can move 3 ways right here, and I get the good RNG.
I mean, basically the whole town owed Silas money. Let's be real. I had to go talk to like everyone.
Very true. So now I'm going to go to the constable, and I'm going to hand in quests, and I'm going to hand in a bunch of quests to Edgewater now, because since we're going to reroute power to Edgewater, everything's going to be closed when we come back. So if I don't hand in the quest now, I can't do it later. Okay.
And so, how do you go about, picking up quests, doing quests, and handing in quests? How does one go about routing that and executing it?
Creppy, maybe you want to help?
Very carefully.
I'd be.
No,
That's
it's a lot of figuring out when you should be picking up items and when you should actually be talking to NPCs. And a lot of the times in this run specifically, we're going to try and pick up as many of the quest items as possible before we even get to the NPCs. Because as soon as you have those items and you've met those requirements, you can instantly just turn in the quest. And that'll pop up a lot in a little bit here, actually. He's going to be turning in quests in a different planet really rapidly. Because he had completed everything before he even got the quest. So it's a lot of figuring out where you should pick up items and where you shouldn't, mainly.
But it was a very fun exercise routing this game because it's very puzzle-like. You have different things you need to do, and you need to figure out in which order you can do them. And once you've done that, you need to optimize your travel time, your movement, and stuff like that. So it's fun. Honestly, it's a lot of fun to learn. Creppy was kind enough to update the document, or rather, design and update a document with instructions for all the quests, all the dialogue options, and stuff like that. So there are some useful resources out there to learn the quest as well. To learn the run.
Sure. Yeah, I have it open next to me. So if you are interested at all in learning this, if you love the game and you love speedrunning, definitely join the Discord. And we have this document here by. Thank you very much for creating that. It's incredibly in depth, and even if you haven't played the game before and you're interested in running the speedrun, this will 100% help you. No pun intended with 100%, but it'll certainly help you learn the run. Very accessible.
And it's a fun run as well because you get to see the whole game. You do everything, and you're not just whizzing through like any percent in the game. In the Outer Worlds, I think it's 10 minutes, 11 minutes. It's a really fun run, but it's completely different now. And whereas here you get to see all the environments, talk to all the NPCs. Well, talk is a big word maybe, because I mean, to be honest, you don't.
We're gonna
listen.
We're gonna let our gun do some of the
We don't. I was gonna say we don't kill that many people, but we do kill a lot of people. It's true. But
go
we
ahead.
do spam through a lot of the dialogue, but which is a bit unfortunate because we were talking about this the other day, and it's a very well written game. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, the writing is by far
Yeah.
Oh man, this might have some of the best, funniest writing of any game I've ever played. I genuinely laughed out loud at some of the writing in this game. It is hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
So I'm gonna level up right here. I'm gonna dump a bunch of points in dialogue, and whoops, that's unfortunate. As expected in games like these, dialogue is very powerful, and we're kind of going to wordsmith our way through the last boss, but in a bunch of other situations as well, we're going to actually talk our way through. So this is the first one. We're going to convince Reed to give us his last power source, and we're going to take that power source and put it in our ship. Well, not our ship, Hawthorne's ship, because Hawthorne doesn't have a power source. But now the town of Edgewater is powerless, and that's all because of us. So we've doomed everyone in Edgewater. We're sorry, guys.
So we didn't even end up picking the botanical lab or Edgewater, right? We're just like, yoink, mine.
No, we do pick up. We do send the power to the botanical lab. Sorry, botanical lab. But I think we take their backup power generator or something. It's very mean. It is very, very self-interested. So that's Emerald Vale. It's the first level. We're 20 minutes in. It's a decent time. We've done a bunch of quests, and we're going to make our way to the Groundbreaker, which is a space station which is trying to be neutral in the whole story between the board and Phineas. And we're going to complete a bunch of quests on Groundbreaker. It's an important part of the run as well. So we're going to talk to Parvati. She's Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So I've noticed every time you interact with something, you're sort of jumping away from it. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so you can dodge away from dialogue, and I always try to position my character at a specific angle or in a specific area, so I can dodge away, which is faster than turning around. But it's also useful because you can cycle through dialogue by spamming space. So I can spam space, the dialogue option, like for instance 1, and at the same time I'm going through dialogue quickly. I'm also preparing my next move. Oops. And I'm going to be able to dodge out of the conversation. So I did say we weren't going to kill too many people. I guess he didn't get the memo. I don't know, but he didn't do much to harm us. But he has a key card. We need a key card. That's unfortunate. And we've picked up some information for the vicar right there. We've picked up information as to where we can find a guy who's able to translate the book that's in effing French, so he can find the answer to his questions, because it's like a book that has the answers to life, humanity, the future of the universe, and everything. Whereas we all know the answer to that question is 42, but you know, he wants it. It's in French, so he needs a translator.
Should go get a dolphin or something.
So we're gonna steal some soap from Gladys here. Hopefully it goes well. Yeah, good. I got caught, which was fine. I was planning on getting caught, and we're gonna open this safe. We got caught by Gladys, but she doesn't mind. So Creppy, maybe you want to explain how I went through that safe right there?
Sure. So that safe actually used to have a different model, which I believe was a little bit smaller. And what ended up happening is when they swapped the model to the current model, they accidentally left in the ability to lockpick it from looking at the backside of it. And it just so happens that there is an item in that safe that we need that would cost a lot of money. And we kind of just steal it, because why not?
Exactly.
So Larry, I've also noticed that whenever you're interacting with doors or pretty much everything else, you're interacting from like 5 feet away. How is it that you're doing that?
Yeah, so we've bound used mouse wheel. So by doing that, you can spam mouse wheel pretty early, and it allows you to be very optimal in your interaction with different objects in the game. So it's a huge time save, and it's extremely useful.
Yeah, that could definitely add up over the 2 hours. I mean, if you're saving even just a few milliseconds every time you do it, how many times do you interact with something in an entire playthrough, right?
I have no idea.
That,
yeah, exactly.
That is certainly going to add up.
But it's a good point, because as I was saying at the start of the game, there aren't many skips, there aren't very complicated techniques or whatnot. It's all about movement and tiny optimizations, really tiny optimizations. And losing, what's a bit frustrating, I guess, with the run is like losing a minute somewhere is very punishing, because it's extremely difficult to make up for it. Because you don't have you can't say, oh, I lost a minute, but I'm gonna land this crazy skip. You're gonna have to be very optimal in your movement, in your dialogue, in your positioning. But it's also part of the fun, learning the game, learning the route.
Save them, Frank.
Yeah, same exactly. So we killed a guy. He was a pirate, and it's true, he was a mean person. So it's fine. We're allowed to kill him, and we picked up a piece of the spaceship. We're gonna use, because Junlei right here, who's the ship's engineer and kind of like the ship's captain to some extent, she's very worried because the radiators are broken. So she wants us to repair the radiators, and we need the item I just took from the back base where that pirate was. And killing the pirate, it's part of a quest, so it's even better. So we're just gonna kill these guys. This section, go ahead.
Halcyon's own Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
Oh, that's incredible!
Oh no!
Give this man an award.
You're welcome.
Congratulations, Meta! You've just won. I mean,
I just made 5,000 people cringe in their seats.
No, I'm honored to have been on the stream where you made that joke. Really, I am. What an honor. Oh my god. Well, anyways, so I fixed the radiators. Junlei is going to be very happy about this, and it also turns out Junlei's is Parvati. Parvati being one of our characters, she's Parvati's love interest. So, part of our quest, well, our main quest line for Parvati is going to get Junlei interested in her. So that's why we picked up soap in particular. Is because so Parvati can take a shower. Yeah, that's. But we're going to do a ton of stuff for Parvati. We're going to have to pick up a dress. Her quest line is slightly annoying, to be honest. I have a rule of thumb, which is ATTP. Always talk to Parvati because she's very needy. And if you don't talk to her at specific moments, you can miss certain key moments and you're going to have to backtrack. So it's frustrating. And this game is prone to not what I like to call, but what someone called Yahtzee likes to call the cock-up cascade. Meaning that if you miss something, if you mess up something, the next thing is going to be messed up. Then so is the one after, and so is the one after, and it's difficult to kind of fall back on your feet and regain any time you've lost once you've made a mistake. Which is why ATTP, always talk to Parvati, because if you forget to talk to her when you should have, you're going to lose 30 seconds going back, talking back, blah, blah, blah. So she's not my favorite NPC, to be honest.
And so far you have Parvati and you have Vicar Max.
Yeah.
So obviously their quest lines are going to bring you like pretty much across the galaxy. Is there anything that you can sort of just get right out of the way, or are they going to be with you throughout like the rest of the playthrough?
They're actually going to be with me, but I'm not necessarily going to take them all the time with me because I need to advance the quest lines of the other characters as well. And funnily enough, the streamer who's running Fallout 3 just after me, Jabo, used to run an obscure category of the Outer Worlds called All Companion Quests. So he kind of laid the groundwork for companions as well and how to do their quests.
That's a cool category too. It has a lot of the skips. So I remember early on in the any % routing, there was a few skips that were used, and then there was skips that would skip those skips. But all companions pretty much compiled all of those skips, so they're still used at least to my knowledge, they're still used in that current route. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and since Max Quest you do everything, most of the skips aren't really useful because you don't necessarily want to skip stuff. Oops, that's a mistake. That's fine, that is a mistake. So we don't use a lot of skips, to be honest. But All Companion does that, yeah. So to your point right there, I dropped the Vicar and I dropped Parvati, so I could pick up Ellie, because Ellie's actually from Byzantium. So Byzantium is the fancy world in Halcyon. So here, it's the only time I'm going to do this, but I'm going to quick save, quick load, because it just opens a door for you, basically. It skips an animation and a long dialogue tree for reasons unknown. Well, actually, I know Creppy does, but I know Creppy knows. It's similar to what we've seen for the duplication, basically, I think.
Yeah, it's the same application. I don't think you can dupe specifically in this map, but I know you can reset this map, so... yeah, but it's the same application, so...
So we're going to do a sequence break here. Maybe you guys want to explain what I just did and what I'm skipping, if you actually know what I'm skipping.
Crappy,
So-
I'll let you handle this one.
Okay. That skip was actually found by a micrologist and then optimized by another runner named Studio. And what ended up happening is if you aggro Percival and then have him walk near that door, instead of him just saying, hey, what's wrong? He says, hey, what's wrong? But also, hey, let me open the door for you. And what that does is you gain access to his office, which you wouldn't normally gain access to for a pretty long time in the main quest line. So he just did a massive, massive sequence break. Skipping, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many quests.
The entirety of Monarch, in theory.
Yes,
right?
that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah. In any %, this is crucial. So that skip in any %, I think it ended up cutting out, I don't know, probably a good 5 minutes from the run when it was like 15 minutes long or something like that. Like it was huge at the time.
Yeah.
It skips an entire planet in any %. In this one, it's just going to allow us to have a bit more freedom with routing. But
Yeah, exactly. We were going to complete the quest, and we're going to complete it anyways. But it avoids having to come back here, open that door, use that, and go back to Monarch. And we can do all of Monarch in one go. So right here, it also doing that also opened the doors to this area, and we're going to pick up an item called Demethyl, which is meant to be used to unfreeze the people that are frozen on the Hope. And that's about it. So maybe we have a bit of time for a couple of donations right here.
area spook.
Absolutely. I actually do have something for everyone here. As if we don't have many exciting incentives already, I'm getting word on a new one. Hold on here.
Ooh.
Hold on. It's a
I'm
big one.
excited.
I'm
It's a
holding.
big one. It's a bonus game, none other but a lovely Big John, running the wacky world of miniature golf at ESA Winter 2021. But first, we need to meet a $5,000 goal. Can you help us extend this wonderful marathon a little longer? Also, if you have no idea what this game is, you should really go right now and Google it because those screenshots are something else. And it's also voice acted by Eugene Levy, so what more can you really want? Get those donations in, everyone. It'd be really nice to see this game be played by Big John.
I think we could do that by the end of
Yeah.
this run. What do you guys think?
definitely
No
want to see
problem.
Oh yeah,
John.
5,000.
No
Easy.
problem.
Easy. And if we don't reach the incentive by the end of the run, I'm sure Meta is going to chip in to fill in what's left.
Yeah.
So we picked up the Demethyl. Now we're doing Ellie's questline. We're going to talk to her parents. Ellie is very rich. Her parents are very rich. And so she lives in this very luxurious apartment. But she ran away to be a rebel and mean and whatever. And her parents are basically saying, oh, you won't get any more money from us. So her quest line is to change the beneficiary of her life insurance. I think her parents changed the beneficiary of her life insurance so that she doesn't get any more money from it. And now our job is to change back the beneficiary so that she actually gets the money.
So earlier on, I noticed that there was a thing that popped up mentioning a flaw. Do you want to explain a little bit about the flaw mechanic, and is that useful in the speedrun, or?
Well, it's I mean, I think you can explain it better. Well, better than I can. I'm trying to, but go ahead, explain it, Meta or Creeper.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so the flaw mechanic in this game is probably one of its more unique features. Essentially, and you're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong here, but something will happen, like let's say you get attacked by a certain type of enemy, and the game will say, okay, hey, you could take this flaw if you'd like, and we will give you, like you'll take more damage from this type of enemy or something like that, but also you can have a perk point. So in a casual playthrough, it's a really interesting decision because you're like, okay, well, if I do this, I'm going to be taking more damage from this type of enemy, which is going to be a bit of a hassle. But also, maybe I can grab a perk that's going to, increase or be like a lot more beneficial for the rest of the game. So it's an interesting decision in the casual experience, and I loved it in my casual playthrough. I thought it made for some interesting decisions.
Yeah.
In the
It's a-
speedrun, it doesn't. It's not very useful, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately, it isn't, because since we're gonna level up so much, we're gonna have a ton of perk points, and the perks aren't that useful for a speedrun, so we don't really bother with flaws. But it would have been cool, like if we could voluntarily provoke flaws to get certain benefits for the speedrun, but unfortunately, that's not the case. But we picked up one of the most annoying quests in the game, which is really a go visit quest, where a guy wants us to visit beacons that are scattered across the world, but he wants us to visit those in a very specific order. So the first one was in Byzantium, so I just picked that beacon up, and we're gonna have to do a few more in a very specific order, which is too bad because like in Emerald Vale, we literally pass by one of the beacons, but it's you can't use it, you can't interact with it. So So here we're doing.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if this is just sort of a visit quest, do we have time for another couple donations, maybe?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Of course.
Okay, I can absolutely do that. We do have some exciting ones. We have $50 from Noob Salmon that says, "Hey lawyer, good luck with the run. Thanks for your big help optimizing it. And I'm glad you have the chance of showcasing this category. Good luck, buddy."
Thanks, Salmon.
Yeah, and Noob Salmon made sure to put those $50 into the incentive to further Heck 21 as a save file name choice for Fallout 3 coming up next. We also have $20 from Anonymous and $10 from Pickostroff saying, "It's over, ESA Winter 2019. Winter 2021 has the high ground." And absolutely right, Pickostroff, we finally beat Winter 2019's absolute fundraising goal of $30,077. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for all those donations. And for making that happen, we've hit a milestone.
That's awesome.
That's
That is awesome,
amazing.
yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys very much.
Thanks, everyone. So Noob Salmon actually, so he runs the category obviously, and he actually ran the any percent version of the Outer Worlds at I think last ESA or ESA 2020. I'm not exactly sure. Oops. HTTP. Always talk to Parvati. I forgot to talk to her.
Dr. Wells has failed
Okay.
to discover the tracking
Okay, great.
for broadcasting the location of his lab. Hey, Captain.
Perfect. So now we just landed on Monarch. Monarch is one of the biggest questing hubs of the game. There's a lot going on. It's probably, I think, the hardest section of the run to learn because there's so many quests, so many things you can forget to do, forget to hand in, and there are a couple of quests. If you forget to hand them in at a specific moment, well, your run's kind of dead because without wanting to spoil too much, we might end up shooting a few people in the head.
Possibly.
This is
Possibly.
unacceptable.
Yeah. We might, maybe we're not using real bullets. Who knows? But
They're just sleeping.
Yeah, they're tranquilizer darts, yeah.
exactly.
So what do we do about weapons in this run? So right now we just have basically the pistol from the start of the game.
Yeah.
Are we going to just stick with that for the rest of the run, or?
So we've picked up this stick, which is really good early game because it does a lot of damage to mechanical enemies that usually are very tough. So it's a great weapon to have early game. But we've also picked up a sniper. I borrowed a sniper. I promise I'll bring it back, but I borrowed a sniper from a vendor on the Groundbreaker. And we're also going to borrow the weapon of one of our companions. Whoops. I got a bit lost there. We're actually going to borrow the weapon of one of our companions because she has a very powerful weapon, and we're going to make better use of it than she is. So,
Well, they're sworn to carry our burdens and give us their stuff. So,
exactly. So right there, this is another one of those dark quest lines where we were looking for someone who ran away from Stetter Bay, looking for adventure, and he met these really nice people at the Mather residence. It turned out, well, they were cannibals, so now he's dead. But, it happens. Oops, oops. That's not at all what I wanted to do.
I think Monarch is probably the most gorgeous region. I would say it's almost a shame that we skip it in any percent, but it's really long as well.
Yeah, it's very, very, very long. A lot of the reason why some of the quests were offloaded to other planets was because Monarch got so long, actually. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. I actually didn't know they did that. Yeah, but the quests, it's not only the number of quests, it's the length of the quest. There's a lot to do in these quests. It's there are quests that are just good to throughout the game that are pretty easy. The ones in Monarch are complicated. There's a lot to do, so it's hard to learn. It really is a place where runs go to die, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember when Monarch was in the any percent route, I got lost constantly. I mean, you must know this map like the back of your hand now, but when I started, oh boy.
Yeah, exactly. So right now I'm going to go through through Stellar Bay, sorry, to pick up and complete a bunch of quests. So turns out this guy just got murdered, and we were looking for some clues as to why, and we found those clues. Now we're going to talk to a cook for Parvati because she wants a dessert for Junlei. So this is a dialogue and an animation I can't skip. There are two in the game, this one and another one later on. So here he says, I need to take a leak. The first time I heard that, I thought he was talking about the vegetable, and I thought that's an awesome line. That's an awesome. But then I looked up how you write leak, and that's not how you write leak. So it's unfortunate.
Turns out all he needed was a bean instead.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
This is going to be a long 2 hours. So we talked to the bar owner Nell because she knows the guy who just got killed, and she knows probably who killed him because he bet too much on sports, on the toss ball. What a wonderful name! I love toss ball as a name. So Velma, we do a bunch of quests for Velma. It doesn't really matter. We've convinced her to give a raise to a guy we haven't met yet. Congrats to us, that's very nice. And we've also informed her that her good friend got eaten by cannibals. So we make our way back to the ship to pick up the vicar, because part of his quest line is in Monarch. So we're gonna make sure we have him on our team while we're out here, and we're gonna go pick up Nyoka as well, who's going to be our next teammate. And Nyoka is probably the most badass and fun character, I guess, in the.
Dude, by far. Do we get to use Nyoka in combat at all, or?
To be honest, since we steal her weapon, she is kind of useless in her defense. But in general, companions aren't very useful. They're not very good in. I guess they're pretty useful in a casual playthrough because they have like these takedown moves and stuff like that. But takedown moves are long, and we don't want those, so we avoid companions. So we're gonna talk to Celia, sorry, and she's madly in love with a guy, and she wants us to arrange a date with him, and we'll do that later. But for now, we're gonna make our way to the Monarch Wilderness, and we're gonna kind of transition to the second phase of Monarch, where we leave the city of Stellar Bay to do all the quests that are in the Monarch Wilderness. And so we're going to steal Nyoka's gun.
Yoink.
Yoink. Equip the sniper. Equipped. So this used to be Nyoka's gun, and now we have this wonderful sniper and this beautiful machine gun as well. And I'm just going to walk to Amber Heights right now, so this would be a great time for donations as well.
This ride is about to get ugly.
Okay, let's go for it. I think you might like this one. All right, we have $20 from F Marshall saying we still have over an hour to take the Fallout 3 name. Only like $700 more. Easy. Big Bean 2 incoming. Also, Big Bean. Good luck on the run. Yeah, this kind of actually would be really cool because it would be the sequel to Big Bean. It just only feels natural to go for a Big Bean 2 incentive here. But it's so far, yeah, if you do want to get those donations rolling, we do have an incentive, a bid war open for the file name of Fallout 3, our upcoming run. Heck, 21 in the lead with $711, and Amiga with 5, and obviously the $20 that just came in for Big Bean 2, but we would love to see more. And also our big announcement that Big John can run the wacky world of miniature golf as a bonus game if we hit $5,000 raised in this marathon for a bonus run. So keep those donations coming. The link is below the panels.
Yeah, that's a very cool game. What just happened there is first. I got kicked off by a dog that broke my legs, which is a huge problem because I lose my speed boost. That's never happened to me before.
Ah, there it is. I was just gonna say,
There
might
it
you
is.
say that's never happened to you before? But there you go.
It's literally it's never happened to me before. That's insane. That's completely crazy. I've run this game so many times and it really has never happened to me before.
Got to be at least one
Yeah,
in every
exactly.
run. So in Amber Heights here, is this where you empty your inventory? I
Oh,
know
no.
that's a thing
Yeah,
somewhere, right?
right here. Thank you. So Amber Heights is a refuge for a group of people called the Iconoclast. They're kind of a religious group led by a guy called Graham. Graham is very convinced by what he's doing. It's a mix of religion and philosophy. So he's very, very into what he's doing. But his second in command, Zora, right there, is a bit more down to earth. And each time Graham gives you a quest, Zora is going to be a bit more practical, and she's going to ask you to get things that are useful for everyone. So right here, he wants you to get weapons, and Zora kind of hints to you that she might also want medical supplies more than weapons. So we're going to actually, every time Graham gives us a quest, we have the choice between going Graham's way or Zora's way, but we're always going to side with Zora because because if we side with her enough, she's going to give us a supplementary quest, which is basically to investigate Graham. Sorry, and we want that because we want to complete as many quests as we want. So right there, we chose the option not to take guns, but to take food and medicine.
When it comes
Yeah,
to
that's
Zora
one of
and
the very
Graham,
few Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, when it comes to Zora and Graham, you can have your bean and eat it too.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, that's one of the very few instances where
I'm serious.
where you have to choose very specific dialogue options. Otherwise, you get locked out of a quest, like Lawyer was saying.
Yeah. So right here, we're going to Tinker. So Tinker's a special mechanic in the game that allows you to upgrade your weapons and upgrade DPS. And the only thing it costs is money. So that's good for us because since we've duplicated a ton of stuff at the start of the game, we have a ton of money. So right here, I need to buy... okay, I'm a bit afraid because I can't see a helmet. Anything I can do to help you out? Yes. I guess I'll have
the Marauder's helmet here.
No.
Is that the one or
the Iconoclast helmet? Usually they sell Iconoclast helmet here, but I guess whoops.
You
guess
might
we'll
be able
see.
to buy one from a vendor. Oh
No,
gosh.
the Iconoclasts only sell the helmet. So, well, we'll see it. Cock up Cascade, worst comes to worst. So right here, we're gonna go do a quest for Graham. Graham wants us to clean the printing press, but Zora wants us to help out her crew that's near the printing press, and in particular, well, that wasn't very well played on my behalf. In particular, they want us. Zora wants us to figure out what happened to her medic, and well, we just saw her medic. He's dead. So that's kind of what's going to trigger Zora into turning on Graham. Basically, it's the death of her only medic. So I used a small bug there to reload quicker. Maybe you guys want to explain how it works while I clear these guys.
Sure. So the LMG by itself has a very, very long reload animation. So in order to bypass that reload animation, for whatever reason, if you initiate TTD, then press your reload key, and then deactivate TTD, it just exponentially increases the reload speed of any weapon. Not entirely sure why, but that's going to save him a pretty significant amount of time every time he has combat, so it's pretty nice to have.
Yeah,
physics, baby?
it is. It's very useful for the LMG in particular because the longer the reload time, the more time you save. So it's not that useful for stuff like handguns, but it's completely worth it for the bigger weapons. So right there, you need to talk to the guy camping the printing press as well. Otherwise, you won't complete the quest. I'm actually going to have another look at his store just to be sure, but I'm afraid Iconoclast helmet. Great. That's I've never
There we
seen that
go.
one. Never seen that in a run. But no.
That's
Okay.
never happened to you before?
I think we could say that. Right? Yeah, honestly, I think we could. So we're handing in our quest to Graham. We fast travel outside because we want to talk to Zora, and fast traveling outside and fast traveling back inside puts Zora in a spot where we actually want her to be, and we don't have to wait for her to walk all the way down the stairs, open the door, and blah blah blah.
Do we have time to fit in a couple donations, maybe?
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
This is the simple truth. We are all molecular machines.
Okay, I have one for you. But I'm trying to figure out how to read this, so maybe you can help me. If the board reads a message to you in game, is it a robotic voice or is it a regular voice?
I think it's just a. Oh, go
It's
ahead.
a corporate voice. Imagine your
Okay.
corporate suit.
All right, let's do this then. Okay, we have $15 by Wildfire saying, employee LawyerBodoh, ID number 02764-124. Hello, corporate employee. This notification has been sent to you because of numerous reports of you skipping important work objectives or completing the requirements out of order against clear instructions of company policy. As this is clear violation of your work contract terms, your contract is from this moment onward terminated. Because you own the company 12 years of more work, fine for estimated value lost has been filed and sent. Have a happy day.
That's actually very accurate as to how the board would send a message to someone.
Thank you. And Wildfire, thank you so much for that donation. Keep them
Yeah.
coming. That was really exciting to do.
Okay, so you see the power of the machine gun right there. We really are chewing through the enemies, and we're gonna pick up a science weapon here, and it's kind of a puzzle you need to answer to unlock the weapon, and the questions are very, how can I say this? The answers to the questions is obviously always save the chairman, kill your family, to save the chairman, denounce your spouse.
Yes, everything for the board.
Exactly. And those are the right answers, so it's not very hard to guess what you need to answer.
It's like that one thing in Fallout 3 at the very start of Fallout 3 where every answer is the overseer is like amazing or something like that.
So the team that worked on the Outer Worlds is part of the team that worked on Fallout 3, right?
New Vegas.
New Vegas.
Oh, New Vegas. Okay. So there are a lot of similarities, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of the dark humor and the writing style is very similar to New Vegas. So if you've played the Outer Worlds and not New Vegas, do that. Or if you've played New Vegas and not played the Outer Worlds, definitely do that. They're both fantastic games.
I've actually never played New Vegas. I guess I'll have to pick it up after what you've just said.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Oh, and Fallout 1 and 2 apparently as well. Yeah, I think, and someone in the chat, feel free to correct me here. I just remembered. I'm pretty sure Obsidian Entertainment stems from the initial like IP holder of the Fallout like IP, I guess would be the thing. I'm not very familiar with all this stuff, but so when Fallout was created, it was created by this company, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it, so that's my bad. And then it was bought out by Bethesda Softworks, and Bethesda Game Studios made Fallout 3. And then Obsidian Entertainment was formed, and Bethesda Softworks brought on Obsidian to work on Vegas. I think it's something like that. Black Isle Studios. That's the
Black Isle Studios. Okay.
the OG. So they're very familiar with the genre, Obsidian.
So we picked up a bunch of quests here. One of these is to find to help a drug trafficker. Sorry about that. It's not great, but max quest, go fast. We need to do this, and this drug trafficker isn't particularly smart because he's using sprats, which are basically small rats, small rodents, to deliver his drug packages across Fallbrook. And we've also picked up a quest from the boss of this town called Catherine, and that quest is to kill someone called Clive. So this is one of the rare instances where stuff spawns after you talk to people. So this guy wasn't here before I talked to the vicar.
Wait a minute. Where did he come from?
But it's pretty useful. It only works. It's actually only true with companion quests. So companion quests, if you have to talk to companions, they can sometimes spawn enemies if you've forgotten to talk to them at the right time. So at least it's a good safety net. And trust me, the vicar thing I discovered by accident. I'd forgotten to talk to Vicar Max earlier, and it turned out that talking to him there worked. So I was very relieved to learn that, because you're like an hour in the run, and if you need to, if you've soft blocked yourself because you've forgotten to talk to someone, it's a bit frustrating. But thankfully, that's not the case. So here we're going to do the quest for Zora. She wants us to investigate Graham, and it turns out there's a data pad
Look northwest.
right
That ain't
here.
it, but marauders
So
will
we're not really meant to enter this area like this.
I was
We're
gonna say
more
that jump looked hard.
These types of jumps are a lot easier with Simulotion, because you jump higher, faster, further. So yeah, it's harder. Yeah, it's a Daft Punk reference. I'm sorry, but
Harder, better, faster, stronger.
exactly. But yeah, you're meant to fight everyone there, all the mobs there. But we found a way. I can't remember who found that, but you can just jump over the fence, which is extremely useful.
Seems to be how most of the skips in this game work. It's like, hey, I just kind of found a way to jump over this thing, or bring this NPC here to open a door that skips half the game.
It is.
into the Devil's Peak Cavern
It is.
under the bridge. That's one option.
So maybe we have some time for two or three donations right here. I'm just gonna do a bunch of small quests.
Okay, let me actually take that away from you here. I just want to remind everyone that we're here to catch some good runs and help Alzheimer Fondant find a cure to Alzheimer's. You, yes, you, can be part of such a great cause. So please keep the donations coming. I do have one for you right here. This is the start of it. $35 from Burbs. And it says, more Big John and some golf at a speedrun marathon? Yes, please. Thanks to all the runners and staff for putting on this awesome event. And that's the beginning of it. The first $35 dropped into the bucket of the total of $5,000 to get Big John to do an extra run at this event. So let's make sure that happens. Remember, when you go in to donate, it is not any extra effort for you to put your donations towards an incentive or a bid war. The incentive to run an extra game by Big John is already open, and obviously many more out there for you. So please take a look at those when you drop a donation, and thank you so much for that generous one.
So this guy, Clive, is actually the reason why we can't complete 69 quests. It's because Catherine wants you to kill Clive, and Clive wants you to kill Catherine. So there's absolutely no way you can kill both and hand in both quests, because if you kill both, well, yeah, they're both dead, so you can't hand in the quest. So we kill Clive because we have stuff to do in Fallbrook, and it's easier for us to kill him and go back to Fallbrook, so we can hand it in to Catherine afterwards.
That is very much not nice.
No, Clive's a bit of a douche.
The caves back east are safest.
And he also runs that slaughter factory, which makes horrible sausages, which I think is the basis of all the alimentation of half the world. So
Yeah, I was gonna say there's something funky with that meat, right?
yeah,
I forget the exact lore behind that, but
I can't remember. They raise these borsts, which look very pestilent and sick, and they make sausages out of them. It's obviously very Soylent Greeny. So I'm gonna do another companion skip right here. I'm gonna ask them to hold this very precise area, and I'm just gonna run through stuff, and hopefully they'll TP back to me and get out of combat. I hope the Vicar doesn't die. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm out of combat. That's great, which is going to allow me to interact with this terminal, open this door right there, and I'm also going to pick up an item which is right over there for Parvati, because Parvati is annoying. She's rather annoying.
Here they come.
Okay. So weapons have a rather useful melee attack. It doesn't do damage, but it's useful for us because it knocks back enemies. So it's great to kind of get them out of our way when we're stuck. So we're entering Rizzo's lab. I'm gonna buy some ammo because I feel I'm a bit low right there. And this is a quest for Sublight. We picked up this quest on the Groundbreaker a lot earlier, and Sublight is kind of a neutral faction. They're interested in they're bandits basically. They're interested in themselves and making a profit. So we're not very morally, we're morally challenged, let's say. We don't really care. We're going to help them out anyways. So as you can see, this gun is very useful in this section. This is meant to be a bit of a hard fight, honestly. Oh, where did it see you right there? There's a really tough fight coming up, and we have to use a very specific strategy to kind of make our way through the fight. It's not that easy to pull off, but we just have to exit and come back. There. That's
Fantastic
it,
fight. That was perfect.
Frame perfect, exactly.
So, Lawyer, at this point in the game, how many quests do we have done?
So I've completed 22. I don't know that by heart. I have a live split open on another screen with a quest counter, which is helpful. And actually, I'm going to use this time to shout out to Micrologist, who's the one who coded the quest counter, and he really is the main reason why this category exists. And he's one of those unsung heroes of speedrunning communities. He helped a lot with the auto splitter. He helped a lot with the quest counter, and without him, none of this would exist. And obviously, I had to die there. This is a very dangerous area. We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah,
this jump here is really annoying. The NPCs can teleport to that little platform, and sometimes when you're falling down, they'll teleport at the same time. And instead of landing on the platform, you land on their head, which in this game pushes you off of them.
Bonk.
And 9 times out of 10, you'll just fall into the pit, which forces you to reload. And then it'll happen again and again and again.
It's a time for a bean pun. Find something.
I'll come up with something. Don't worry, we're not over.
So I'm going to hand in a quest to Nelson. He's going to ask me to look for some more drugs. So, we're really nice. We're extremely nice people, so we're going to help him out. I'm also going to go talk to Catherine and tell her, that we've killed Clive. She's going to be absolutely elated. She's a great person. She's very, very moral. It's wonderful what we're doing here. Now I'm going to make my way to this area right here, talk to this guy. For a while, I thought I could kill him, but unfortunately, it's not faster, so he gets to live. And unfortunately, we have to search through Sprat Poo to find those missing drugs for Nelson.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful.
So with these quests that we're doing, I mean, Monarch is pretty well known to be, a more difficult region to play in. Are we under-leveled? Are we over-leveled just because we've done so many quests? Or what's sort of the situation on that?
I'd say we are over-leveled. We have a ton of points I don't actually use right now. And we're playing on story mode as well, so the game's a lot easier. Actually, I need to be careful.
Are you ever sober, Ms.
I did it. Here you go. Thank you. Goodbye. To actually talk to him.
And so you mentioned that there's a lot of points that you haven't used. How do you decide when you're going to dump those points into whatever it is you decide to pick?
Well, I'm going to use Actually, I'll answer that question in a second because there's a fight coming up, and I just want to focus on that. Maybe Creeper, you can answer that since you know the category as well.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? Bad.
Yeah, so just how do you sort of decide when you're going to dump all your perk points and like what you decide them in, or sorry, what you dump them in?
Yeah, so for this category specifically, we really try and avoid dumping in points where we don't need to. So essentially, every time we do it, we're going to be dumping in maybe, like 50, 60 points at a time. And I want to say the last, like, actual dialogue skill check point we need is going to go into determination a little bit later.
Yeah,
And then the rest is just going to be into long guns, essentially. So his sniper is going to do a lot more damage.
Exactly. And as you saw, like dumping points into a skill, it takes a while because I have to click every time to put 1 point in. I can't put 10 points in or all points in, unfortunately. So that's why we're going to avoid having to open the menu, put 10 points, close the menu, open the menu, put 10 points, close the menu. Just going to try and dump everything in one go. So we killed everyone in the iconoclast right there. Don't worry, it's perfectly normal. The short version of everything is that there's a broadcasting tower in the center of this map. Everyone's fighting over control over that broadcasting tower. You're meant to kind of either pick a side or help them reconcile, but you're not going to do that, and you're just going to, well, put everyone to sleep.
So it's sort of like a similar situation with Edgewater and the botanical labs, where you need to decide where the power is going, but instead you're deciding who gets the tower, basically, right?
Exactly. I'm afraid that's okay. Yeah, I'm at 29 quests, so I should have 32. So Sanjar's the mayor of the town, and we've never spoken to him, but I'm going to hand in 3 different quests to him right there, which kind of shows that you can really do a lot of the quest without actually talking to NPCs, without actually getting the quests, and you just go through the world, hand in everything, and leave. So since he's the other faction that's using the tower, we're gonna kill him as well.
Hey, can you go do this thing? Oh, you mean this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing? Oh yeah, sure. Here you go.
That's exactly the conversation you have with him. That's word for word the conversation you have with him is. It really is. Oh, welcome to the town. How's it going? Can you help me out with this? Oh, here it is. Can you help me out with it? Oh, here it is. So now we're going to enter a quick fight. I'm going to dump a bunch of points in long guns, and this is a good moment for some donations as well.
All right. Well, I don't have any donations for you at the moment, but it's a really, really good time to remind everyone that your donations don't just help people affected by Alzheimer's, but they even help youngsters affected by a family diagnosed with Alzheimer's to get the care that they need. And this organization really just does so well to make sure it tackles like all the struggles and all assets of like what happens when a family gets affected with Alzheimer's or any one person. So every dollar counts. Please keep them coming. We do have a wonderful set of incentives for you and a bonus game that you can unlock. So please take a look at those when you go out to donate, and the links, you'll find them below the stream.
That makeshift bridge,
Thank you.
cross it.
That's
That's
really
awesome.
amazing. That's a great cause.
Then up and over.
And yeah, we can get some fun games like golf. And Big John.
I like your enthusiasm better. That's good. So we're gonna fight a very big monster here. We're gonna. That's unfortunate. When it covers up like that, it's pretty much impervious to damage.
Shit.
Uh,
That's a big one.
that didn't go very well at all. I'm actually gonna reload because she put me on fire at the end there, and I won't be able to talk to anyone.
Ah, shit.
Okay, great. I got the execute there. So what's great with this weapon is if the enemy mob is below 25% HP, you can actually execute it and just take out that 25%. So it's extremely useful versus mobs like this one that has a lot of HP basically. I was actually out of speed boost there, so surprising.
That's really fast. I mean, 25% HP. That's what you said.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, yeah, that's a quarter. If you get it down to 1/4, and then it's just boom, gone. See ya.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hope you're not pursuing a career in mathematics. Meta, 'cause-
No, definitely not. No, not my strong suit. Let's not even go there.
That 25%, that's a quarter. Yeah, precisely, exactly. So we saved this guy, Berthold. In exchange, he's going to help us. He offers to help us. But we won't actually need his help. We're going to tinker with our weapons to continue to upgrade them. We've picked up a weapon called Thunder, which is extremely powerful as well. It's a very good weapon. And now we're going to do, I think, what is the most difficult skip in the run, which is DPS skip, Devil Peak skip, which is where we are right now, the Devil's Peak. It's made a lot easier with the lotion, but it's the only, I'd say, trick that kind of needs to be learned and practice.
Very,
Okay,
very nice.
that's good. Yeah, it's hopefully that's great.
Certainly not an easy. It's not
Yeah,
something.
that
you can
very-
just- And that
Ooh,
they're
awesome.
very that
Yeah,
jump there
that's
that
good.
surprisingly difficult. I mean, it just looks like a little hop, skip, and a jump, but it's very precise.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I've messed it
the-
up with on all my practice runs. So
The first and the last jump of that entire trick are absolutely the worst.
and the first one's very annoying because if you fall down, you need to go back up and blah blah, and it takes you lose a lot of time. So we're gonna talk to Nyoka because she needs something from Hiram as well. So we're gonna talk back to Hiram. To be honest, I don't actually know what I'm saying to Hiram. I don't actually know what quest I'm advancing. Maybe Creeper, you know, but this is all kind of fuzzy for me.
Whatever it is, it's fast.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
So what he was trying to do there was, if he sniped Hiram, there's a very small window where he can interact with the terminal before the two mechanicals detect him and his NPCs. Also make sure to talk to Nyoka here.
Yeah, I was remembering that. but
And
thanks.
when he interacts with the terminal, it advances another one of the quests as well.
So right here, I think the story is, since you've disabled the broadcasting tower, there's a ship orbiting the planet that loses communication and crashes or something. But anyways, there's a ship that crashed, and we're going to go investigate that ship for a quest for well, technically you get to choose, because what you're looking for is a weapons targeting system that's on the ship. And in the game, when you play it casually, you're meant to choose whether you want to hand it to the Iconoclast, whether you want to hand it to Stutterbay, or whether you want to hand it to the board. But since the Iconoclast hate us because we might have killed everyone there, the people in Stutterbay don't really like us either because we might have killed their mayor. We're going to hand it to the board.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, exactly. So we are going for the board ending in the run. It's kind of necessary because it allows us to complete the maximum number of quests. It's not my favorite ending, but you know, you don't necessarily get to choose. You need to go fast.
We need the speed. The bad it seems like always in open world RPG speedruns. If there's multiple endings, it's probably the bad one that's the fastest.
It is. Okay, so this area can be a bit frustrating. You can aggro some of the mobs for kind of no reason, and if you do, you're in trouble. So this is my favorite dialogue in the game. We're not going to hear it very well, but Jen's the chief engineer on that ship, and she's very calmly recording that that message, and she's saying that her captain's an idiot because she kept telling him that he needed to repair a specific part of the ship, and that now they're crashing and all going to die. She just says that very calmly and very calm voice, and leaves that for whoever's going to find it. So I always choose the option to hear that message, even if I don't really have to.
What a beanhead.
A whole head beanhead, huh?
Cells are now primed with
You're doing work, Beta. You're doing work.
as the organic
Okay, so we're gonna talk to Felix. Felix is by far the character I like the least. He's a douchebag. Hack. Where's my hack?
Relay station all the way out here.
So Felix is the character you like the least. Who's your favorite?
Well, Nyoka, Nyoka's pretty fun.
It's the
Her
obvious
quest line's
choice.
okay. Yeah, and her quest line involves hunting dangerous prey and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. Felix is he's a whiny little douchebag. I'm sorry. He's annoying, and his lines, in my opinion, they're either, I mean, whoever wrote them either should be fired because they're so infuriating, or deserves a promotion because that's exactly what he was hoping to do. But they tick me off every time.
Yeah, I think I get the feeling that was definitely the goal. So someone's sitting in their chair, they're like, yeah. Gotcha.
So, precisely. I think he enjoyed what he was doing, clearly. So we're going to Scylla, which is another planet in Halcyon, to advance Felix's questline. And we're going to talk to his old boss. I think the questline is he mutinied on this guy's ship and blah blah, and he's looking for some old friends, or I don't know what. And Harlow, which is his boss, is going to tell him to go somewhere and find a guy called Rufus, I think, who's located in the Emerald Vale. So we're going to do that a bit later. But for now, we're going to make our way to Roseway, which is another location on Terra 2. So Roseway landing pad. There it is. And this is the planet where Felix shows his true potential in his dialogue as a detestable person.
So we're going back to Emerald Vale. So I imagine, with the routing of the game, we want to limit as much, going back and forth as we can. Is there anywhere where you could just sort of, you start the area and you finish it and then you just never go back? Is there anything you can do like that?
Well,
have we done that already?
Yeah, we've done that. We're gonna do that for instance, to Relay right there. But Roseway isn't the Emerald Vale, but it's on the same planet as the Emerald Vale, so it's on Terra 2, but it's not actually the Emerald Vale. So the map is different, but it's on the same planet. So we're going to do a bunch of quests on Roseway. We're actually going to pick up an item for my second favorite character called Sam. And this is the acid steeper he needs, and Sam's a robot, and I love Sam because I have a total of 1 interaction with him during the run, and he's clearly the lowest maintenance character and companion in the run. So this is a good section if you have any donations, Ash, to plug a few in and make a few announcements as well.
Sure. I'm getting really confused. Like someone who's never seen the speedrun at all, what is all the association with beans? Because they keep coming in. One after another. Okay, all right. $20 from Noob Salmon that says, Lawyer, it seems like this game, and you're meant to bean. Also,
Aww.
your commentators are all cool beans.
They are cool beans. They are cool beans.
Thank you.
Yeah, not just the commentators, but I think everyone watching this is a pretty cool human being. But let's keep them coming. $25 from Jaxiel saying, keep going with this awesome event. Really like the Outer Worlds run, and nice dash. And that one actually went to a Final Fantasy VII Remake any percent.
That's awesome.
Incentive, which is actually really cool, which is take the stairs for anyone familiar. We have $20 from Anonymous saying, good luck from France. It's a pleasure to see people from your country participating in events like this to support associations that deserve.
So cool.
That was the whole donation, but yes, I agree. This is a very good cause. Help us cure Alzheimer's by donating to this amazing event and supporting Alzheimer's Fondant. And I just kind of want to just make a quick note here for all of you that are looking for the bonus game to donate to, because Big John can actually be running the Wacky World of Miniature Golf as a bonus game, which actually features the actor Eugene Levy, who will be voicing it. If you go to the donations page while you're making a donation and look for the bid challenges and choices, you will actually find it tied to another game, Super Mario All-Stars Any Percent. If you look for that, you will find the bonus game, the Wacky World of Miniature Golf, tied to it. So take a look for that, and thank you so much for the donations. Keep them coming.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, thank
Merci
you very much, guys.
to anyone who's donated because I'm French. That's very nice of you. It's very patriotic.
So what is it that we're doing right now?
We're doing a bunch of quests. The quests in Roseway are kind of independent. It really is an area that doesn't tie in very much to the rest of the game. She has the hardest head in the world. She's incredible. But anyways, as I was saying, the quests on Roseway are kind of Roseway specific. So we're actually killing her, picking up a data pad for a Gladys on the Groundbreaker, but the rest of the quests are tied to Roseway. So I'm going to go to an area right now, and it's a pretty fun quest. The one I'm going to do. You actually are given a choice to. You can talk to a scientist in Roseway, and he explains that I think his assistant is running experiments and he hasn't come back, so he's worried for him. And what's pretty fun is that if you go look for the assistant immediately, you can save him, but if you wait and you take too much time, you'll find him dead. So fortunately, we're not in the business of saving people, but more in the business of saving time. So we're gonna find him dead. But it's a fun little not a trick, but a fun little mechanic in the game where the time you actually take to complete certain quests impacts the result of the quest. So if I come in early, this guy has a head and an arm and a leg, but right now he's lost him. Well, maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's just misplaced them, and someone will come back later to find them and give them back. Who knows?
They're just in the lost and found.
Exactly. It's the future. They might be able to. They might have perfected the head reattachment procedure very well.
This but a flesh wound.
I don't know that reference, unfortunately, Meta. So here we're gonna hand in the various quests to the various NPCs in Roseway. We also did a few things for other people. As I said, we picked up a companion item. We're also going to pick up a secret weapon and a science weapon, and we haven't talked too much about those, but there are special weapons that are kind of hidden throughout the world, which have some fun mechanic. I think you have a shrink ray or a freeze ray. You have a hammer that deals every kind of damage, so poison, cold, lightning, possible. And that hammer, the prismatic hammer, on the first version of the game, was used to make this incredible DPS build where you could one-shot absolutely everything on screen with one swing. But that's actually a quest line for Phineas, because Phineas created those and he lost them, so he wants you to find them for him. But right now, we're done with Roseway. We'll never come back. It's not my favorite area, to be honest. But it's done, so that's good. And hopefully I haven't made too many mistakes. I think my quest count is good for now. I shouldn't have TP'd here.
Even if it isn't, it is.
Yeah.
Fine.
No one will notice. Oh, so I need to remember to hand in the quest to this lady right here. And we're going to talk to the people from Sublight. So they're going to be very happy. We helped them out at Rizzo on Monarch. And we're going to pick up a series of quests, and we're gonna do a bit of back and forth with Lilia, in the sense that she's gonna give us a quest, we're gonna complete it, we're gonna come back, complete a quest, blah blah blah. Specifically, right now, she wants us to go to an area called HRS, which is a space station. I think she wants us to give her control of that space station, and I don't really think it's a very good thing that she has control of the space station. But you know, we're not here to judge. We're here to help out. We're just a helpful bunch of people, and if she wants us to help, and if she needs our help, we're gonna give it.
1084, Captain.
Exactly.
Would you say we're a bunch of helpful beans?
Ooh, God, these are great. But yeah, out of all the things I did not expect that would happen in this run, the repetition of the word bean was probably very high on that list of unexpected things that might never happen.
Oh,
So I need to avoid these mines, because if you get concussed in this game, you can't interact with terminals, you can't do a lot of things, and the AoE of the mines is very weird, and the triggers are very weird. So I'm being careful, quick saving as much as I can as well. And quick saving is a blessing. It's the only reason this run could even exist. Okay. So we've cleared HRS, and we're gonna make our way back to Sublight.
And so does that pretty much finish up with Sublight? Now that we
No, we still have a. She's gonna ask us to kill
your return.
put to sleep, or whatever. Give a high kinetic hug to someone in someone in Byzantium. And we're gonna have to do that a bit later. In your casual playthrough, oops. Oh, I forgot to send back the elevator. Never mind. Okay, sure. Okay.
yes, this will be mutually beneficial.
Ooh. Ooh.
Thank you to whoever sent that one in the chat. I did not come up with that one. That was not me. That was.
So we're done with that quest, and we're gonna make our way to Emerald Vale, Edgewater landing pad,
Welcome back. Do wipe the blood.
and we're going to go to geothermal, and we're going to take Nyoka and Felix,
We're now
because Emerald Vale is exactly where we want to be to progress their quest line.
So have we progressed sort of? I know we're doing all these quests and side quests and stuff, but where are we at sort of in the main story by this point?
It's hard to say. Creeper, do you have the answer to that? To me, we're kind of neutral because we've done a lot, but we haven't handed it in yet. So we're kind of at the beginning, technically, of the main quest line. But we're just gonna hand in a ton of quests at the same time and just jump through half of the game. Well, not half of the game because we've completed it, but we're gonna make huge progress in just one go. Because
Yeah.
I think 10 or 15 minutes before the end, we still have 25 quests to hand in. So
We're just under half of the main quest, I believe. But like Lawyer said, as soon as we get a little bit further, it's just going to be rapid fire turning in quests, and that does include the main quest line.
So earlier, I think you mentioned sort of the routing for quests sort of being in loops, right? So the first loop being, acquire the quest, and then we go do the quest. Or sorry, we acquire a bunch of quests, then we do the quests, then we hand in all the quests at once. So it's just like a
Rebecca
like a
talk.
bulk bundle, right?
Yeah, we try to bundle them as much as we can, and there are a lot of quests you can do without actually picking up the quest. For instance, this one, I don't know if you remember, but at the very start of the game, I killed someone called Zoe, and I'm handing it right now. So, like an hour and a half later, I'm handing in a quest I did at the very start of the run. And those are the small types of optimization that the run has, and which make the run pretty fun in my opinion. It's kind of figuring out those small 5 feet optimization, because technically I could hand it in at the very start, but it would require me to backtrack, I don't know, 10 feet. So we do it now. So it really is. It's a small puzzle we've tried to solve by in our routing, which has made the.
I
Go
wonder
ahead.
just how much longer it would be. Like, so for instance, in Cyberpunk, which is going to be run tomorrow, featuring me on commentary, by the way. In Cyberpunk, you sort of need to, you can pick up quests and do them, but each step of the quest needs to be done in like a certain order, and I wonder how that would apply to this game. Like, for instance, like how much longer do you think it would be if, like Vicar Max's book isn't spawned in the world until you go talk to him? You know what I mean? Like, it would be so much longer.
Yeah, it would take forever, to be honest. It would take forever because we do a number of quests completely out of order. We skip. You can actually go straight to the end of a quest. For instance, Ellie, one of your companions. You're meant to find a mailbox that's located somewhere in Byzantium, but we never do that. We never go to that mailbox because we know where we know the ending, we know the answer in some way. So we can just skip to the end and not do any of the middle parts. And there are a couple of quests actually like that where you just, for instance, the guy who gets eaten by cannibals, you don't pick up the quest, you never talk to anyone, and you just go back to Velma and tell her, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, but your good friend's dead.
Right.
So right there, I start shooting the guys on the right. And that's unfortunate. Hoping that Ludwig helps us. So Ludwig, I don't know if you remember Ludwig, but he's the guy who was at the very start of the run. He sent us on a few errands, and Ludwig was a bit crazy because he was sure that the Void was planning to get all the robots to kill us and to clear the town of Edgewater, but he was actually right. So he's the only one who's going to make it alive out of Edgewater because he spent his whole life preparing for the uprising of the mechanics. And the name of the quest is Foundation, which is a reference to Isaac Asimov's book Foundation. And there's a ton of very cute little references in the game.
I didn't know that. And so, I mean, one could just sort of do that fight and just kill every robot you see, right? But there's a plan for this fight. So how does that work out exactly? What's
Well, the plan
strategy?
didn't work out very well for me because the plan is hoping that the robots shoot at Ludwig and he aggroes and he participates in the fight, and he actually does a fair amount of damage and helps out with half of the robots. But unfortunately, right there, he didn't get aggro, so I had to clear everything, and so the plan really was shoot everything. But again, since we're so over leveled, since we have such a powerful weapon, the fight is relatively easy. It's a relatively easy fight. So right here we've accelerated. Well, not accelerated. We've completed part of Felix's quest line. We're gonna go on the other area in Scylla to complete the quest line for at least part of the quest line for Vicar Max and for Nyoka as well. And this, I guess, would be a good time for donations if there are any.
Okay. Do I have any more bean donations for you?
And to answer your question, I have no idea where the bean reference comes from. So I think it's someone chose a name and it stuck.
Just rolling with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't have any bean donations for you anymore, unless I'm actually a benevolent host, so I'm gonna read this one. It's a $50 donation from Anonymous, who's actually putting it towards the bonus game, The Wacky World of Miniature Golf by Big John. Thank you so much, Anonymous, for making that come through. And yeah, would love to see more.
More drops in that bucket. So right now we're doing Nyoka's quest. She needs us to kill some of those animals, sort of those huge apes, to get an item off them, and we're actually gonna shoot this little guy right there. Sorry, Captain, whatever your name, Iron Mike, or forgot your name is, because someone on Groundbreaker is looking for him, and it turns out if you kill him and go back to that person on Groundbreaker and tell him we're really sorry, but he's dead, you've completed the quest. So quest complete. It's one of the easier quests. I almost died there.
Nah.
So we're gonna. Nah, it was fine.
On purpose. RNG.
Everything's on purpose. So I'm gonna kill another one of these behemoth to pick up another of their scent glands for Nyoka.
So at this point, I mean, yeah, so you've been doing the companion quests as sort of they come up. Is there any companions that you're sort of just finished with now? Like Felix is pretty much done now, right?
Yeah, Felix is done. Sam is done. I picked up the Acid Steeper on Roseway, and I don't have anything more to do. I'm going to be done with the Vicar in a second. Ellie's done as well. So it's only Parvati and Nyoka, I believe. I still have one last step for a few of them where I need to talk to them, but we'll do it at the very end.
Still got Parvati.
Yeah, she has to date Junlei, so we need to go back to Groundbreaker to do that. So this is a very, not a weird interaction, but I've never understood the Vicar's questline. I get the book, he needs it translated, but now he's taking drugs and hallucinating and talking to himself and getting into fights with himself. It's a bit of a weird. It's not a weird. I'm sure there's a story behind it. I think Creeper, you actually know the story behind it, but to me, it's a bit obscure.
Yeah, so essentially he starts hallucinating and he sees his mom, and he's like, "Oh, okay," and then that's it. It's nothing really much else.
Okay. And here we are saying how good the writing is in this game. So we're done with Scylla. We won't have to go back, and we are making our way to Monarch, and we're going to do 2 quests on Monarch. We're going to do the last of the beacons. The beacon quest is the story behind it is pretty funny. The guy we talked to, Alfonso, in Byzantium, is a bit of a sadist and a psychopath, to be honest, because what he did is he put these beacons everywhere in Halcyon, and as you probably saw, the first one is in a very safe space in Byzantium. The next one is in a very dangerous space. The third one's even more dangerous. This one's even more dangerous. And what he used to do is he'd invite tourists to follow the tracks of the beacon, and he'd tell them, "Oh yeah, follow the beacons. You're going to have some great sights. You're going to see some incredible things." And the tourists would go there. Unsuspecting tourists would go there, and they'd get killed. And what he did, he set up cameras around those areas to film those tourists getting killed, and he'd sell the footage. That's the story behind the quest, which I think is slightly amusing, but rather dark.
That's Obsidian for you.
Okay, so we've got the final beacon, and we're going to complete what's her name, Nyoka's quest right now. This is the last time we visit Monarch, so take it in, all of its beauty and Absolute glory.
Yeah, and Monarch was what, the last 40 minutes? That's a pretty hefty chunk of the run.
It is, yeah. It's a huge chunk of the run.
And so now we're finished that beacons quest, right? Or
Yeah,
are we just
we need to hand it in,
everything?
but we're done with it. So
Yeah.
gonna talk
That
to
quest
Yoka.
is like definitely the most restrictive one because
Yeah.
as I recall, you need to hit each beacon in the correct order. So as we described earlier, most things in this game you can sort of do in whatever order you want. That's the only one where it's like, nope, you're doing it this way. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And you can literally walk past the beacons if you know where they are, but they just won't activate, which is slightly frustrating.
Strange how that's the only quest that's like designed that way.
Yeah, and it would make sense that it isn't, like, why would Alfonso care in what order specifically you visit the beacons? But, that's how the game was designed, so...
It's
Oops.
RNG.
Yeah.
RNG bee manipulation.
That's a nice one. Okay, I don't really like what's going on here. I'm gonna have to reload, I'm sorry.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. So luckily enough, the game auto-saves regularly, in particular when you're entering a specific area. So it avoids having to... I mean, it's a safety net, basically. If you make a mistake, you can... you always have a save which isn't too far away. Okay. That's a very weird sound effect.
And so earlier you, like way earlier on in the run, you ran out of the stimulation, and you weren't able to like recuperate that for a while. So can you maybe go into why you lost, like what caused that to happen? And
Oh, I just,
like,
to be honest, I just forgot to spam the stimulation, so it ran out. That's all there is to it.
and then so do you have to wait a while before you can reuse it, or?
No, there's a bug in game where if certain things happen, you lose the benefit of your stimulation for the duration of the buff. So, like, if you had 20 minutes of buff, you're gonna have to wait for 20 minutes to expire before taking another stimulation, which is basically a run killer, because you're not going to be able to walk faster or run faster for 20 minutes, which is what happened a minute ago, which is why I reloaded the game, because I got overburdened, which means that I lost the benefit of my stimulation. So that's a big problem. But luckily enough, I had a save file which was close by and allowed me to restart the fight and do it without getting overburdened.
Right. Yeah, and I mean 20 minutes, that's, we all know I'm not good at this math stuff, but that's a very large chunk of the run, right? So that's, if that happens to you, it's really not a good thing, because we are stacking the stimulation so much. Yeah, it really adds up, 20 minutes. That's a ton.
Yeah. It's huge, yeah. It really is a lot of time lost. So this is one of those science weapons. So we're going to talk to Phineas. His dialogue is a bit messed up because since we've done with the sequence skip, we've done things we weren't supposed to do before we could actually do them. He's a bit lost. So we're going to talk to him again. And we're going to talk to him again, and he's going to give us a new quest now. Which is good. So now we're going to Byzantium. Going to go to the freight loading pad.
Captain?
and we're nearing the end of the run. We still have
We are now in
about
orbit.
10-15 minutes, I'd say, but this is really the part of the run where we're handing in quests, closing the main quest line, and rushing our way to complete the actual game. So we're gonna do one of my favorite quests in the game. I think it's called Early Retirement. Very early in the run, we've talked to a lady called Hortense, and Hortense is she's a dreadful person, to be honest, because she's extremely rich, and she learns that the board implemented a lottery system for, let's say, normal citizens, and if they get a golden ticket, they get to retire for life immediately. But so if they get a golden ticket, they get to ride this elevator, and as you'll see in a second, well, they don't exactly retire.
They don't retire for life. They retire their life. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately for them. So, but it kind of highlights the main story, which is that the board is seems very immoral and very mean, but their argument is that the world's going to there's not enough resources for everyone, so they're the only ones who can offer any type of order that, of course, isn't very fair, but at least ensures that most people get to live. So in your casual playthrough, you kind of have to make this moral choice between helping the board, which kind of represents order and survival of the greater number of people, or helping Phineas. And Phineas wants to save all the people that are on the Hope, and there are thousands of people on the Hope. But unfortunately, having thousands of people and thousands of mouths to feed is probably going to be too much for the colonies, and is going to plunge the colonies in chaos. So you have
And then we get Fallout.
So this is a cute little quest. We talked to a guy called George. I can't remember his name, but he lost his favorite sprats. So we're gonna pick up those sprats for him, and we might incidentally shoot someone. So that's Rachel Lockwood. She's extraordinarily important in your casual playthrough, but profoundly irrelevant in this game, because you're meant to kill her to gain the board's trust to open the door we've opened with a sequence break, sorry. But since we've already done the sequence break, we're going to kill her to complete the quest, but we don't really need her early on, and she doesn't really matter that much.
So if we hadn't done that sequence break early on, we would have had to do her like entire quest.
No, I think we would have to do what I just did, but we would have had to kill her, gone back to Percival, hand in the quest, he'd hand us another quest, blah, blah, blah. Basically, it'd be a lot longer. That's all there is to it. Right now, it only takes us a second, because we're going to be in those sewer system anyways, because we need to exit the retirement quest. So it's very convenient for us to kill her.
Well, we certainly don't want longer.
Exactly. So we're gonna do Celeste Cur's quest line, which, to be honest, it's probably one of the quest line I hate the most. She wants us to dress up as a marauder, so we equip gear which is tagged as marauder. She wants us to dress up as iconoclast, so we do the same thing with iconoclast.
And this is your favorite part of the game, right?
Good.
Base.
The goggles should be spacers, I
can't.
think. Oh, the green shirt might be one. The goggles and the green shirt, I think.
I can't.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well,
That's
never mind.
very, very rare to happen.
To be honest, let's hope maybe it's... No, I'm not going to be able to complete this quest, unfortunately.
What? Nah, looks like you completed it to me.
You know, this specific instance, especially with spacers, is extremely rare for him to not get an item that he needs. I don't think any of us have seen that before, right? Like, unironically.
Groundbreaker, and I'm going to find some Spacer's gear on the Groundbreaker.
What's life without a little challenge, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
While you're improvising, should I take it away with some donations?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right, okay. This is a great time. Because we have $5 from Zet that says, this run has beans. Fun to watch. It just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
Why the plural?
I was going to say, is that the best you could do, really? That really the
Oh,
best you can do.
I think it was a typo. Okay, there was a typo. All right, it's this run has been so fun to watch.
Ah.
There we go. All right, there
There
was
we
a bit of a space there, so I wasn't understanding why there was a
Okay.
singular O by itself. All right, we also have $20 from Anonymous that says, thank you, ESA, and thank you, Lawyer, for the Doom Eternal No Major Glitches tutorial.
Wow, that's a very specific reference, but you're very welcome.
And I also would just love to take the opportunity to remind everyone that the World Health Organization actually classifies dementia as one of the world's greatest health problems, which is really surprising to me. Just over 47 million people are affected, and that's estimated to triple by 2050, which is really wild to think about. So, by donating to this event, not only are you contributing to some great incentives and great speedruns and great content, but you're also helping Alzheimerfonden, a Swedish national fundraising organization, cure dementia and Alzheimer's and other related diseases. So, thank you for all those donations. Keep them coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Save the beans.
Save the beans. Well, she obviously wasn't the bean, and we're not gonna save her because Sublight wants her dead, so there it is. She's now dead. We're going to go to the Prime Minister. We're actually going to talk to Hortense, and what I like the most about the quest with early retirement is that we're not going to tell her the truth because lying to her is quicker. So we're actually going to tell her that the people that get golden tickets really retire, and she's gonna make her so angry to learn that. And
Good.
that really pleases me. It makes me happy to know that she's disappointed to learn that people actually retire when in truth they obviously just die. So here we're going to talk to the Prime Minister. As you can see, security is very, very, well, lax. They let me in because I have a package with his name on it, so I'm covered with guns, covered with bullets. All I have to do is just show a package, say I'm UPS, and I could go to his office, have a quick discussion with him, and all is good.
I'm sure that's how that works.
In real life, yes, that is precisely. Well, actually, no. I'm going to be in trouble if I say that. So, no, do not go to a representative of yours office. Office is covered in weapons and bullets and with a UPS package, hoping that you're going to be able to talk with it. That's not how it works in real life.
Yeah, that probably would not work.
Nope, that would not work.
Bring
So.
a can of beans instead.
I think a can of beans is considered a very formal greeting in a number of societies, so it should work. It really should work.
I beg your pardon.
So right now we're doing quests completely in the wrong order. We're telling him Lockwood's dead, which is something we should have done ages ago.
Apologies for
So she's showing us a movie right there, which kind of explains the situation in the world. And it goes over what I explained a bit earlier, in particular the fact that everyone's kind of starving and the board's doing their best to save everyone, even if morally it's not very very respectful. Oops, no, not going to the Hope. Gonna go to the Groundbreaker And right here, I'm going to improvise a bit.
Captain,
Uh,
Felix and the Vic.
And I'm going to make my way at the end to, a shop to try and buy some Spacer's gear. And before going to the Hope, I'm going to go back to, what's it called? Byzantium to finish Celeste's quest.
Yeah, actually, this whole other route here, we're just we're walking in specific places to get more XP? Question mark? No. I'm
No,
just
not really.
kidding.
No.
I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah, exactly. It's part of a new route we've uncovered during ESA, which is technically faster. Which exactly, more XP. Yeah, more XP. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not a mistake.
Nope, no mistakes.
Because
Here.
those don't happen.
No, never.
Not only is it more XP, but it's also RNG manipulation.
It's both.
Definitely.
Yeah. And he actually sells beans. To be honest, no, he doesn't. I'm sorry.
To be honest.
Okay, so he has. I'm gonna buy everything. Who cares?
You look like
Spacers. Yeah, he has spacer stuff.
itching to
Oh,
work.
again, I forgot to throw the elevator. I get to listen to some cute elevator music. Not what what you're meant to do is talk to her and go back and fast travel when you're in the elevator.
You could have been so much faster.
I could have been a lot faster indeed.
Is it done?
So I need to talk to Parvati, get her quest going.
The dust.
So this is Sam. There, we've completed Sam's quest. There we go. Yes, sure. Goodbye. So that's Sam. That's the extent of the conversation we have with Sam, which is why I love Sam. Clearly. So we're going to go back here, and we're going to talk to Celeste again. So Celeste actually gets the dress for Parvati, and she gets the dress to impress Junlei. And we've managed that part of the quest for Celeste, but there's a part of the quest where she actually wants you to pick up a parcel in her shop, not in the shop, sorry, in the post office, but that requires you to dress up. Exactly, perfect.
And
I'll
when
get
did we
it done.
start that quest line?
What can I
Like
do?
the beginning of the game?
Actually, we never pick up that quest line. Well, it's true we started at the beginning because we loot a couple of items that are required for this quest line. So we loot, in particular, a Marauder armor. We loot from the first Marauder we kill in the game, and we buy a helmet from a guy in the botanical lab. Sorry, where we also buy the little gun we have and something else, and both of the items we buy there are for Celeste. So you're right. It's something we really start early on in the game, and that where is it? Don't tell me I forgot to.
Oh, you already grabbed the parcel earlier.
Yeah,
before
but
you backtracked.
it's not supposed to be there if you don't have the. That's yeah. Okay, thank you. That's the
You
issue.
good?
We'll be good in a second.
What can I do for you, Doc?
Yeah, since you're watching the stream, you have a small delay, but I forgot to turn in the Mantiqueen chitin and the leather, so she didn't actually give me the quest to pick up the parcel. So now we're good. Exactly, perfect.
Can I pop in a quick donation?
Yeah, sure, go ahead, sorry.
Okay. So, this one's gonna be interesting. $5 from Nashlax that says, wait, it's all bean puns? Always has been.
Oh no.
I can visualize that one, and it kind of hurts. Like the meme is coming to my mind. Thank
This
you so
Earth is a big bean.
Yeah. And we also have $5 from Anonymous with no comments. Thank you so much for those 2 generous donations. And remember, if you're going to donate, please put them towards an incentive as well. Thank you so much.
I was just about to say that, don't forget the Big Joe incentive. So we're nearing the run of the end of the run. We're almost done. So we're on the Hope, and we're gonna not fast travel. We're going to have the Hope travel to. We have the choice normally. If we want to help Phineas, we move the Hope to Terra 2, so that people can kind of wake up and colonize, or finish colonizing Terra 2. Or we skip the Hope to Tartarus, Tartarus being a jail. And obviously, skipping the Hope to Tartarus is the board's favorite ending, and we actually want to do the board ending, so we're going to send it to Tartarus. And in the any percent ending, for those who are familiar with it, they coded a pretty cool ending where if your character has very low intelligence, you can actually tell the computer that you're the one who's going to do the calculations to skip the Hope somewhere, and you skip it in the sun, everyone dies, and the game's over. So it's a pretty fun.
That saved. So the first one, I think we sent it to Tartarus.
Oh yeah, it's true.
The first route, and then that skip was, or I guess, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a skip, and that I think cut the run in pretty much half.
Yeah, we did find the way the any percent run evolved is really like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I don't think we're going to be able to drag it below 10 minutes, but who knows. Okay. So the Hope is on Tartarus. We're going to make our way to Tartarus. Tartarus is the last level in the game. So we're almost done with Max Quest here and the Outer Worlds.
So yeah, right now it's the max quest is like 123 without loads. Do you think someday, somehow, it'll be like under an hour?
Under an hour is going to be extremely tough. Under an hour 20 is probably feasible, but it's going to take a lot of grinding. A lot of grinding. It's a very difficult quest very difficult run to optimize once again. Mm-hmm. And like I said, grinding time and gaining time is it's not easy. There aren't a lot of skips or mechanics you can improve. It's going to be there's a lot of memorization, menuing, learning dialogue, and I used to know them very, very well, which is how I got
the 123.
Yeah, the 123. But like I don't know what my time is here, but I'm probably like 140, something like that. So,
right,
saving 17 minutes here is on the run. Like it's hard to imagine where I'm going to save 17 minutes. It's going to be 170 times. Oh God, that's an impossible calculation I just threw there. But right. I'm going to have to save a lot of 3 second increments, menu a bit better, learn my dialogues a bit better. Yeah. Those are crates. Crates are the worst, probably the hardest enemy. No, RNG manipulations. And more XP, more XP.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where you need to improve, just because most of your time save lies in menuing, movement, and dialogue. I know in any percent, I think my PB is probably like 11 minutes or something, and that whole minute is just like menuing.
Yeah, and even at the very start of the run, when you leave, when you just spawn in game, there are tiny movement optimizations, and Sharo, who holds the world record, I think, like when I get to the first NPC, he's, I'd say, 5 seconds ahead of me, but that's like 5 seconds out of 40 seconds. So it's a huge time save. It's a huge time save. Proportionally, it's a huge time save. And a lot of the run, it's if you want to, I mean, if I were to try to get something that below 123, I'd have to work on a lot of movement optimization, and it's hard on a 2-hour run, you know, to always be focused on getting that perfect line, being exactly where you need to be.
Definitely.
Okay, that had to happen. I am out of healing potions. I think I'm gonna die. Well, if I die, I'm 10 feet away from the final boss. And if I die, I'm just gonna load a save I have, which is just in front of the final boss. Yeah, I'm surely gonna die here.
I believe.
Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna equip the Moonman helmet.
Nice.
Drink a bunch.
What bonus does the Moonman helmet have?
I think it gives you extra perception. Is that it?
Think so. Something like that. It gives you one of the 3 stats we need for these skill checks coming up.
I mean, who wouldn't listen to someone wearing that?
So right there, we convince Phineas, who's taken Sophia hostage. We convince him to commit suicide, and we're gonna pick up this, and time is coming in a short second. Gonna spam dialogue. And
Thank the law you're
that's
here.
time right there.
That
There we
madman is
go.
out of control.
Nicely done.
So
Very
68
nice,
quests out of 69. That was a bit sketchy, but it's done.
69 minus 1.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Sorry for the lag, and sorry for I went a bit over time, a bit more than 2 hours initially planned, but thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for all the donations. It's a great cause and it's a great event. Thanks for everyone organizing it. Thanks Meta. Thanks to Creppy as well for the commentary. And hope you have a great rest of ESA. And hopefully we get to see that incentive bonus met and get to see a bit more speedruns.
Yeah, on that note, I just want to say Outer Worlds was such a treat. Thank you, LawyerBodoh, for such an excellent run and showcasing it today. We're
You're
lucky to
welcome.
have even more fantastic content in the same vein with Fallout 3 coming up next. My name is Ashwin, your host for the last run. I will be signing off, but don't worry, next up is Tainted Tally, who's an excellent host. So kick back, enjoy this brief break, and stay tuned for more good runs.
And thanks for being here.
Oof.